You sum up the 90 minutes here. Coach Hugo Bruce was looking for players. That's the purpose of this. He was looking for the ones that are going to pick up their hands and say, hey, I am here. Please take me. A different half in the second as in the first, he says.
Yeah, he's happy. I'm happy. I think there's so much things that we can label here. I like the variation of build-up to start with, from left to right. So there were so much options in terms of the build-up. I mean, Mozambique would play low block, and we managed to bypass that low block with combination play on the right side, nice combination play on the left side, and of course, I mean, our two strikers pinning down the centre backs. It was a great game to watch.
Before I go to coach though, because I want to stick with you, both defenders here.
Yeah,
there is a bit of a dampener on this, and it's that Mozambique didn't come to the party. We didn't get to see the defenders. They didn't get to put in a shift. They didn't get to goalkeepers as well. I mean, Lena coming in the second half, they're making one save. China didn't get to make a save, although the ball did come to him once as well. The defenders didn't get their work cut out for them.
I've said it first half that Mozambique defensively they were bad. They were really bad. Is it because our front line were better? Most probably. But if they couldn't even combine 3 passes, that tells me that Mozambique brought bad team ready. They didn't come to the party this evening. I always say the straight line. You got to keep the distances, and that straight line between on the back line, and it wasn't there. It was that line that really, I mean, you wouldn't know what's happening. Communication wasn't there. So it was just a bad defending actually from Mozambique for me. So I guess we were better.
Like from Bogazi, CBC, Moses and the Kabini, Moby didn't quite get to show off, to the coach and say, hey, coach, this is what our capabilities are when we're under pressure, when we're being attacked. But the front, surely the coach got more than enough there. When you take a look at those youngsters, 24-year-old, 25-year-old, when you look at Guaibo, when you look at the Cupido, and of course the Coco Melons as well.
I think we got to see Umbogazi a bit more against Ratifo, because we saw him going 1v1 with him, pushing off the ball, blocking certain shots for him. He made him very tame. So Umbogazi gets a nod for me in terms of defending. So when you play against an opposition that doesn't attack you as much, they didn't bring a bad team. We outclassed them with a team that we have. So we made less mistakes. We didn't allow them to boss us. We didn't allow them to force us to make mistakes. So when there isn't opportunity for you to defend a lot, what's the next stage? Because defenders are also part of the 4 moments of play, attack, defense, and the transitions. So they were able to attack forward. That's why we saw Moby going. We saw Gabini also going forward.
Going forward, we did go forward and finally did see a goal. Had opportunities galore in that first half, including a header very similar to that when Butuma wasn't able to get in. But on this time around, Guaiba, who had been knocking on that door, header in 47th minute, we got a goal.
Happy for the boy. We've been talking about him. I think that was a great contact with the ball, but bad defending again from Madova there. Going shoulder to shoulder. Very experienced player, Dover. But I think Sinotolo there out-jumped him, and anticipation was proper. I'm happy for him. I mean, he's been available, the boy. I mean, he's been linking play. That's what you want, actually. And I think this is that Cap scoring a goal. He could have scored more, as the coach have mentioned. But for me, I think he managed to lay off and link play.
He's one of the standout players that the coach mentioned. I mean, we gave him man of the match as well, but the coach singles him out to say, Guaiba, better second half, liked what I saw.
Because the first line of defense was him together with either Cupido or Mbutuma, which means he played everything to the T, which is like a 4-4-2. You must be the first one that puts pressure and does all of that. That corner that they score, it comes from a press here to South Africa because we pushed them. We didn't allow them to build up from the back. Guaiba was part of the ones that press, and you'll see with the second goal, the same thing happens. So for me, he was at the right place at the right time. He was in the box. He was there to connect play, and he was also in spaces where, I mean, you look at him, he started a bit far back behind the defense line of Mozambique, and then when the time was right, just swoops in front and is able to do that. That's the difference between him and Butuma. Muchuma got a chance of a header where he headed the ball up. Look where he starts. He realizes nobody comes to me, and he directs the ball. He knows where the goals are at. He goes on the side. And let's also talk about this delivery from Nkota. He jumps over everyone at first pole, goes to last pole with an in-swinger going into the goals, and out-swinger moving away from the goalkeeper.
Darwin Chibuko there, both going for the ball, but it was this man here. Got good height on him, so he was able to get to that and meet it with their head, something that many South Africans always talk about, the height difference here. Somebody who doesn't have the height, but he's got all of the gall is Nkota. So a lot more of these shots in the first half, where he was coming from range. A lot less of those in the second half, but he still did have an attempt here. This is his trusted left foot. When he does cut it like that, we've seen magic before.
It's like I'm seeing him at Pirates, I'm seeing him at CAF Champions League, and he continues with this. So a DNA player, you don't normally see him when he comes into the national team, because these types of movements and actions is what has brought him into the national team of Bafana. It's me and the ball, and that's why development because me and the ball means I'm in control of the ball. I know where it is. I just need to look up and see where the goals, where the opponents, uhamba between marker, and he doesn't care how tall they are. Still able to take a shot, because when you dribble the ball that far, sometimes your shot becomes very tame. He hits the target and he knows where he's going. So that is brilliant from Nkota. That's an element that we are appreciating from him as an inverted winger.
I was going to show you the actually Kipilo goal that did come in from the Stellies player. They're scoring his first for Bafana. But let's take a quick break. If you missed it, Bafana beating Mozambique by their second friendly of this window, playing Mozambique out in Polokwane, and it ended 2-0. 2 goals coming from a 24-year-old and a 25-year-old in Cupido, and of course in Guayiba. 2-0 is how the match would end. Not much of a defense put up, or an attack even, or resistance even from a Mozambique point of view, but it allowed Bafana to showcase perhaps their attacking prowess. And we saw this with Kabini as well that you were mentioning, Coach Kuti. When you do this, you allow the fullbacks, you allow the defenders to perhaps have a run as well, and then try their luck up front. I'm going to come to you with this one, because it frustrated you a little bit, Arun.
Yeah, I was saying, I mean, you mean Kabini, right?
The Kabini run, here it is.
Yeah, I mean,
in the 58th minute.
I always say bum on the line, and that's exactly where he is. But then you look at how many players he has, 4 players. But then, for me, I said to the coach, I don't think he's a left back really. I mean, yes, I know at Galaxy was playing as a left back, but he doesn't have those qualities of a left back. I mean, you look at the wrong decisions that he made there. Yes, it can happen that the cross can be blocked or can be cut. But I always say, you head up. He had an option. You even said it exactly. Even said it. There was an opportunity where he could have just played Mbutuma. Just head up. For a attacking-minded player, he could have done that easily. So I'm still saying, for me, maybe left centre back.
Very surprised to be in that area because of the lack of resistance. It happened. Because he does everything right. Intentionally, he was on the line, bum on the line, so that he can create the width. And Mfuken goes inside, allowing him to go in. So at this moment, he's thinking he's a Zhuang, because there's a chance where he could have chipped the ball crossed, but maybe that's a tough angle. That's a bit tough. The defender is already in front of him. So now what do you do? What then happens? It allows you a line, because now Waiba and Butuma also, that moment, he has the ball there. Just make a pass. With the instep, it gets to Kwaiba, it gets to Butuma as well, and they just tap in.
The second one as well, coach. Look here. Butuma created that opportunity for him, before he kicks it there. Just head up.
Another opportunity.
Yeah. Another opportunity. I think he had about 2-3 opportunities really to create that scoring opportunity.
So time and opportunity at both. Kabini, of course, having moved out of the country in the last bit, making good money for the guys out at TS Galaxy. But let's move on a little bit here. 52nd moment. We finally saw an attack from the Mozambican side, attacking Sipo Chain's goals. He was still in goals before he was to be removed here and substituted. This was the first time we saw what they could possibly do. Did everything right here, but of course a little bit alert for a player who hadn't done anything all game. We're still alert.
It also comes with a sub because we saw Mulomo, who's not attached, come off, and then Nangu comes in, and he comes as a second
Not
striker.
attached.
Yeah,
Oh, Agana claim.
he's not attached to a club. So nje bathi ngena sibona ukuthi inyawo zisasebenza. But at this moment, you could see ukuthi it's 3v3. In that 3v3, this is a great pass. And in this great pass, now you look at Mbogazi, he's delaying, he's taking his time to say if he dives in, it's going to be too difficult for him to close that. Now, at this moment, the skill of passing that ball in, making sure there's a tap in, and good reading from Uchain, because if you would have stayed in goals, this would have been a perfect and easy goal for Mozambique.
Defensively there, what did we do wrong?
If you go back, Mark, again, Gabini for me, I'm still saying he's not a left back. You look at, as Mozambique is an attack, he's late to cover. You got to sense it. I mean, if the ball plays on the other side, you got to take him. You got to be able to be the first one before the attacker or before the forward. That didn't happen. And if they managed to pick that pass, he could have been late. So being able to read the moments of the game is very, very important. I don't think he has it when he plays as a left back.
What about was, if he hadn't conceded the 2 goals that he did, possibly a man of the match. He was great in goals. Anything that came, 7 shots on target in the first half. None of those were going through. But South Africa didn't have what seemed a finisher in that moment. Ashton Cupido comes in.
No, definitely. I mean, coach has been saying Cupido. And right there, the pressing, obviously coach will take us through this. But you look at the pressing, that's where it starts. But the finish here, listen, the finish, for me, it shows confidence. It shows a striker who knows how to finish. But the pressing, this is where it starts. Nkota starts that pressing. Behind over there, there's Cupido. Now we got it.
24 appearances last season for Stellenbosch, 5 goals, 3 assists. And cool as a cucumber, had opportunities galore like this in that first half. Bachuma had 1 or 2, Kwaiba had a couple, even at a Mufukeng and Nkota with these opportunities. They couldn't do what he came off the bench and did.
Technically, he's superior. And you can see that's why I enjoyed seeing him on the lineup, and also in the game against Tanzania. He started the game, he was collecting a bit and was able to turn and take shots at goal. And also, it makes me so happy to see the variety in the formations that we are playing, because we are playing a 4-4-2 today. The 2 strikers that you see, there's Cupido already and Kwaiba. They are just staying patiently. Behind them is the 4 midfielders that are there, and behind them is the 4 defenders. So everybody's moving in sync. We are compact. The distances are good enough because we are covering. We've got cover. We're also not going 1v1 anywhere. And when the time is right, we are able to press and force them back. If you rush and step out, you're going to create a defense splitting pass. But they don't do that. Look at Nkota on the other side. He's waiting. He's saying, pass it there. But he doesn't rush to go into that space. On the left side here, you can see Kabini is there. Also, you see Nkota now. He says, I'm initiating that press. And it's important for us to have the telepathy when we do that, because the moment Nkota sprints in there, you see Kwaiba following, because if he doesn't follow, then they get out. So that was the beauty of this 4-4-2. We profited from it, and I'm happy to coach continued with it, didn't change it in the second half to say, let's play something else. So when you see 4 strikers in the team, we ask Gutai, 4 strikers, 2 strikers are going to be on the field, because what's the point? More than 4-4-2s and a striker C1.
And creating traps, coach. I think in this team we managed to see a lot of things, but creating traps in terms of pressing as well. I mean, we could see there, especially in that situation, when the ball goes wide, coach, that's when we go to press. And it was clear that Nkota or Lebuhile supposed to be doing that. Yeah. And it came out very nice.
Right, 2-0 is how it says. But it could have been worse. It could have been 3, it could have been 4 when you take a look at things that happen. Talk to me, Aronia, defensively here. It's a Stormer there that has that ball, tries to do, but doesn't quite work out, overcooks that, and gets him.
Look, I always say, I mean, we know Dove. Dove is a left back. Trying to invert, knowing Dove is not, he doesn't have the quality to play. So in this situation, he's supposed to be on the line. Maybe they wanted to invert the backs
But it's unfamiliar territory, Lapai.
For Dove, definitely. I mean, that's not Dove there. I mean, the first touch was very poor, and once you lose it there, anything is possible, especially with the high press. That very difficult. So I always say, for me, once you have it, make the field big. And inverting, you only invert where it's when and how.
They don't learn also. If Bafana press a 90 minutes, you're going to build a move. Mountain can is punish.
Also, what you saw with Guaiba, you saw it with, not perhaps with Nkota, but it was Mufukeng as well as Mbutuma, was an extra touch. Here, he hits it first time. With all the space you could have got, hits it first time.
He hits it first time because he knows why he's there. The instruction is that when the time is right, let's press them, don't rush. If you rush, you're going to be out of place and out of position. So when we give you the ball, and you look at Nkota, how he's going to press here. He's going to be pressing to force an error and to retrieve the ball. That is very important for us when you are pressing at these moments, because if he presses and goes to the center back, he doesn't win the ball, then he creates a gap behind. Also, look at Kwaiba. He's delaying. It's like, okay, Asmamelin. And you know the edge and the itch. You have discipline. Stay there. Stay. Don't go. Stay. Because Funabal pass. Now, when the time is right, look at this. The delivery from Nkota, the lay up to him, and the technique that he uses. You know, when he uses his arm and he goes, it's so beautiful. Yeah, you know, headline.
I've spoken to coaches, interviewed coaches who've said not every coach, as it seems right now, should be saying, let's play out from the back. You saw Mozambique trying it time and time again. Playing from the back needs its players. It didn't work out there, but let's move on here. This is in the 79th minute, South Africa. And this is what I'm talking about with Guaiba here. Takes an extra touch here, takes a little bit of extra time. They're on him, loses that opportunity. Still some key learnings here.
I think it was also a nice layoff from Kipira there. You could see that he wasn't greedy. He wanted really, Sinotolo to get on the score sheet. Yes, every striker wants to score when you get to that area. But side mirrors, coach. Protect the ball. The first thing before you even receive the pass, you got to see, you got to scan, you got to know where you are. In the field. I mean, this chance as well here. This is what we're talking about, coach. I mean, right there, the pass is coming. Side mirror, you got to scan. We always say that. You protect the ball, but before you even protect the ball, you got to see your surroundings. You got to know your surroundings. Yes, in that position, coach, you want to hit the target. The first one that comes to
thing is stay soft.
So celebrate.
But he gets to the right positions. Yes. Now he knows, because Bunzima, when you're a national team coach player and you are still teaching a striker to say, have the intuition to go into certain areas. He's getting into the right areas. He's onside. Now all he needs to do is to say, where's the defender? Can I put my hand there, keep the ball there, and be able to finish?
We know how Hugo Bruce plays. We know the players that he prefers. We know the type of players and football he wants this national team to play. He came out in the interview with Lonabo after this. I've seen great players or good players that have put up their hands in this. Aaron, this is the squad. This is the complete. And we're talking about in the two matches. The first match against Tanzania, which wasn't so great in terms of result. This match here, they're going to give him a headache in selection.
For me, I think this coach is one coach that will leave a serious foundation for us. It will depend on the next successor what will be doing. But in these 23 players, I think Mbokazi is still 19. Today he impressed me a lot. I mean, this is an international standard, senior international standard. I coached him at the under-20s. He could play left back, but today the interceptions that he had, that showed that actually gave me the belief that he deserves a chance to be part of the squad. Maybe when we move forward, it's not all of Guaiba. It's not all of stand a good chance. We only have a Hopper. We only have probably 2 strikers, including him. For me, I think that will do. I know we don't say much about Mbutuma. I said Mbutuma for me.
You saw something.
McWilliams, those movements, no defender wants to play against such a player. So those three players for me, I think really they stand a good chance to
Two strikers and defenders there for Coach Scatter's range.
Cupido, Bogazi, Kwaiba, Nkota, and Liru, he needs to come back into the team. Muremi
as well, yeah.
Muremi is exciting for me.
That's a player that we're told by Mozambique for the Super Journey here that he'll be moving over to Latter Pirates.
Yeah, he proper.
All right. Well, here we are. SMC Sports schedule. It's going to be a bumper one because we're going to be giving you